Please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon for getting latest updated video.
Hello everyone, my name is Bhavesh Parmar and in today's session we are going to see basics of information technology. So in this lesson we are going to see what do you mean by computer, what are its applications, then study of operating systems and many more. So without wasting of our time, let me start our today's session. So let me start. So in this lesson, first of all, we have to focus the definition of information technology and information and communication technology. To understand the concepts like data, what do you mean by information, how actually data get processed, then we have to see the various application of information technology, means nowadays where information technology play very important role and its uses. Then we have to discuss in the same lesson study of operating system. So operating system means what? In that case we have to focus on Windows operating system, Linux operating system, Android operating system. Just it is a introductory part. We have to study its features and usage. Okay, then we focused on the block diagram of computer. So it is called architecture of computer. So in that case we have to study the parts related with computer and we are going to study all the parts individually in this concept. Then next concept is unit of memory. So means whenever we are going to store any kind of data in our computer system, so that data have some measurement. So just like that, say for example, if I want to store, if I want to download 1 GB of data from internet, so in that case GB is nothing but what? It is my memory unit. So different kinds of memory unit we have to be study in this concept. Okay, then the next important and interesting concept is study of internet and networks. That is, we have to study what do you mean by LAN, WAN, MAN, and how it is related with internet. That we are going to be focused. And at the end we are going to study the basic concepts of current recent trends and IT enabled services and careers in IT. Means suppose if we want to make our future in information technology, then which opportunities are there in IT field, so that we also going to discuss in this lesson. Okay guys, so let me start with the session, that is definition of information and technology. So in definition of IT, information technology is combination of various technology that we used in order to create, collect, process, protect and store information. So to do these things we just have to take the help of hardware as well as various software programs and various computer network. Means whenever we try to create any data, means what? Suppose if I want to create the database of student, means I want to store information of 10 different students, that is their name, cell number, their email ID, their WhatsApp number and their blood group, date of birth, all these things. Suppose if I want to store in a systematically manner, so it is nothing but what? My database, and that database I have created, that data I have to be stored for future enhancement. Got it guys? So these kind of technology, these kind of database we are going to store with the help of this information technology concept. Now guys, we focused on ICT, that is information and communication technology concept, involves transfer and use of all kinds of information. So generally what happen? So data, what do you mean by data? So data is nothing but collection of meaningful information, or we can say that it is collection of facts, and that facts we are going to use for further enhancement and data analysis. That is, let me take the example of weather forecasting department. So they have data about Indian rainfall from last 20 years. So if we have that data and if we try to analysis on that data, then what happen? It is useful for next year future predictions, means how much proportion rainfall takes place in next financial year. Okay, so according to that we need to make some plannings. Is that clear? Got it, guys? So ICT is a foundation of economy and driving force of social changes in the 21st century. Distance is no longer as issue when it comes to accessing information. For example, work from home, distance learning, e-banking, e-governance are now possible from any place with an internet connection and computing devices. So nowadays we are also doing the same thing. We have live example. We are studying at work from home, and with the help of internet we are watching so many videos, and by using cloud based applications, that is Zoom app, Google Meet. So it is, these are the gateways through which we can try to learn so many things. Okay, guys, now we focused on data and information. So as I told you, data is said to be a meaningful information, or you can say that it is being said that the terms data and information, they are interchangeable and mean the same thing. So generally what happen, suppose if I have a data, but when we say that it is a information, so suppose if I have a timetable of examination, so it is nothing but my data. And suppose if I'm going to ask you, when we have information technology unit test paper, so we directly say that yes sir, we have to face the examination on coming Wednesday at 11 a.m. in the morning. So it is called what? A information. But always remember, if you have that data should have a meaningful information. Means suppose if I'm asking about information technology and suppose you are giving me the answer related to physics and chemistry, in that case that data is meaningless, it has no use. Is that clear? Or you can say that it is a raw data. Got it, guys? So there are this example display on our screen, so you read that example, so that's why you will get more and more clear idea. Got it, guys? Now we focused on to our next concept. Now we focused on need of information. Information is required to take short term and long term decisions and also make strategic decisions in an organization. So what do you mean by strategic decision? So suppose if I have a company, let me take the example of suppose Hero Honda company, and they have a data of 12-month sales, that is from January to December. So they have sales data, and according to that sales data they have to make their strategies. So how they are going to make the strategies? Nowadays we see that, so festival season is coming, so what they try to do, so before festival season starts they try to increase their production, and they focused on various advertisements and discounts to increase their sales of units. Is that clear? Let me take some different examples. Suppose if I have an example of ice cream company, and ice cream company have the details of sell for 12 months. So as we know that nowadays generally what happen, in summer season the sell increases sharply, means 5 times, 10 times, 20 times. So what they are trying to do, they are trying to manufacture their ice cream products before summer season starts. Is that clear? And they try to sell with maximum number of units. But as the winter came, so what happened? When winter comes, they try to reduce their production sharply up to 50%, 20%. Why? Because at that time there is no demand related with ice cream products. So it is called what? Strategic decisions. Got it, guys? So guys, now we focused on various concepts used under information technology. So before getting started, let's learn some of the important concepts used under IT. So let me see one by one. The one of the most important part is computer. So what is the role of computer and what is the definition of computer? So computer is an electronic device which accept various types of data from user as an input, process on that data and gives output to the user. So according to the output, the user can perform various decision makings. Okay, so got it? So definition of computer means what? Computer is an electronic device which accept various kinds of input, process on that input and gives output to the user. Okay, now we focused on the next concept. So generally what happen, guys, a normal computer system can process various kinds of data, images, audio, video and graphics. So data may include numbers, that we say that digits, alphabets, special symbols. Okay, and it can also try to process a mathematical data also, various complex images, audio, videos and graphics. A computer perform 5 major computer operations of function irrespective of their size and make. So these are: number 1, it accept data or instruction by a way of input. So as I told you earlier in definition of computer, computer accept various types of input data, process on it and gives output. Second thing is what? It stores the data. So we can store different kinds of images, videos, audios, movies on our storage device, that is hard disk. So that thing we are going to discuss in the same video. Thereafter, the third point is what? It can process data as required by the user. So suppose if you want to perform addition of two numbers, so what you need to do, you have to provide two separate numbers and then you command to the computer, you have to perform addition. So in that case what happen? It will perform only addition. Got it, guys? If you try to provide multiplication, then it will perform multiplication operation. Is that clear? So means according to the user requirement, it will process the data. So let me focus on the fourth point. It gives result in the form of output. So if we provide the input two numbers and if we try to perform operation addition, so after performing calculation, it gives generate one number and that number we termed as an output. Okay, it controls all operation inside a computer. So we know that computer is a multitasking, means what? At the same time it performs so many operations within fraction of seconds. So these are the various 5 major operations or tasks performed by a normal computer. So after discussing definition of computer and its function, now we are going to focus on architecture of computer. So generally what happen? A normal computer consists of combination of hardware and we also try to install the related application software. So that's why these hardware equipments works properly. So let me take the example of printer. Suppose if I am purchase a brand new printer and if I am directly connect to the computer, so whether it works? No. Why, guys? So first of all, we have to install the appropriate softwares related with that hardware. Suppose if I am going to purchase HP laser printer, so first of all I have to install the software related with it. So that's why it will accept the commands and it gives us a number of printouts. Okay, so in your screen various equipments are used with computer. So generally computer consists of monitor, speakers, microphone, keyboard, mouse, CD, DVD disk, flash memory, then hard disk, printer, scanners, CPU. So many more things, joysticks, web cameras. So these are the various powerful equipments we are going to attach with a computer. So that's why we can perform so many kinds of operations and it will gives you a satisfied result. Okay, So if we try to see, general computer is divided into three major parts. So which are these parts? Input device, output device, and one of the most important part is called CPU. That is called Central Processing Unit. So what we are trying to do, we are just trying to discuss all these parts one by one, one by one. Now let me start with our first part of computer, that is input device. So input unit or input device plays very important role, and generally we prefer keyboard, mouse as an input device. So shall we attach some another input device? Yes, definitely we can use joystick to play various kinds of games with the help of computer. Even though we can also attach scanner to scan various documents and files. So what is the role of in keyboard? Keyboard as an input device. So generally what happen, sometimes we need to punch the data in alphabets, digits, that is entering user ID, passwords. So in that case we have to take the help of keyboard device. So generally what happen, if you observe any normal keyboard, then it consists of some functional keys. Functional keys means which keys? F1, F2, F3, F4. So these keys are available on the topmost position on our keyboard. Then we have numeric keys, that is 0 to 9. Then at the rightmost part of your keyboard, numpad is there. So these are used to enter numeric kind of input. And if we see the biggest button available on our keyboard, that is space bar, it also consists of two enter buttons and various alphabets. Then caps lock, shift buttons are also there. So according to their requirement, we have to use to give different kind of input. Then we focused on our next concept, that is what? Mouse. So what is the role of mouse? So in that case, mouse is one of the pointing device. So by using clicking, that is left click, right click, double click, we just try to provide a normal GUI based application as an input. GUI means what? Graphical user interface. Okay. Now let me take the input as a touch screen. So touch screen means what? So if we try to operate ATM machines or our smartphones, so these are also what? These are our screen also work as an input device. Is that clear? So we can select any applications by just clicking on our screen. So our screen also work as an input device, and according to that it will try to open. Means what happen? Suppose if I am going to click on my WhatsApp icon to see the latest WhatsApp messages, and if I am going to click on WhatsApp button, and Facebook will open. Whether it happens? No, definitely never. Okay, so means it provides you a high accuracy. The next important part of computer is called CPU, that is Central Processing Unit. So as the name suggests, Central Processing Unit, what happen? It try to perform all kinds of simple as well as complex operation. It also focused on storing data. It also focused on RAM, means in the where we have a raw input data, and whether it works properly or not, it is checked by this your central processing unit. And it also check whether it generates proper output or not. So means in general what we can say, that CPU is the main part of our computer, or we can say that it is a brain of our computer. So that we give the labeling brain of our computer. It is nothing but what? Microprocessor. So CPU involves which things? So generally CPU consists of motherboard, then RAM, then microprocessor and various ports, so through which we can connect with input device as well as output device. So let me focus on various parts of our CPU. So in that, what is our first part? Arithmetic and logic unit. So it is called ALU. Means this department performs all kinds of arithmetic operation like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So if we try to provide simple numbers or if you try to provide large, lengthy, complex numbers, still it performs the operation with high accuracy. And it also helps to perform logical operations, that is logical and, or, not. And generally what happen, it is useful for multiple condition checking operations. So generally these types of operations comes under logical unit. So arithmetic and logic unit are capable to perform simple as well as large complex logical operations also. Now guys, on your screen, if you see, this is the diagram for our computer. So our computer is specially divided into three parts, that is input unit, CPU and output unit. So input unit we have recently studied. In CPU we have also studied arithmetic and logic unit. Then second part is what? Control unit. Then if we see the uppermost region, it is called primary memory, and at the top it is called secondary memory. So what is the role of ALU, that is arithmetic and logic unit? It is used to perform various kinds of calculation. Now as the name suggests, control unit, it control all the parts of computer, that is input device, output device. ALU means whether it accept the data properly or not, whether it performs calculations properly or not, whether it gives high accuracy result or not. So it is controlled by your control unit. Now then, what is the role of primary memory? So primary memory consists of ROM and RAM, that we are going to discuss in the same session. And in case of secondary memory, means in that case we are, in that part we are going to store a large amount of data. Is that clear? And if we see the arrow, so arrow indicates what? Data flow. Okay, and if you see some different lines are also there, it is called what? Control flow. So these are the overview regarding our CPU based diagram. Okay, now generally guys, on your screen, if we try to open a normal PC, or you can say that personal computer, so it would look like this. So generally a computer consists of motherboard, it is called PCB, printed circuit board, that consists of microprocessor, RAM slots are there, and various power buttons, power cables are there. So these cables are come from SMPS, that is switch mode power supply. So it provides the power supply according to the requirement. Means to function each and every part of our CPU, these power connections are helpful. So generally a normal CPU consists of hard disk connection, then CD or DVD connection, floppy disk connections are also there, and external ports. So generally ports means what? Where we are going to actually connecting the device. So generally we know that USB port, so where we are going to connect keyboard, mouse, then printer, scanner, webcam, and even though we also connect our mobile device also. Okay, so this is the overall diagram of CPU. So means if we open the CPU, it would look like in this form. So I will also give you one assignment to you. If you have a computer at your home, so what to try to do, you just open the one side of CPU and you just try to observe the parts attached with that CPU. But keep one thing in your mind, do not touch any part or do not try to remove any part from CPU, because you don't have any idea. And one more thing, you just have to unplug the computer device, means you have to remove the cord and then try to open the CPU. Okay, so it helps you to resist from unnecessary shock. Okay, so now we focused on our the second part of our CPU. First of all we discussed ALU. Now the second part is control unit. So this is the backbone of computer and it is responsible for coordinating tasks between all components of computer. Means whether input device sends the data and it is accepted properly or not, whether ALU performs properly or not, or whether outputs display on output device properly or not. So it is totally controlled by control unit. Okay, so it is very short and simple. Then third major part of CPU is memory unit. So now guys, what is the role of memory unit? So generally computer consists of two types of memory, that is called primary memory and secondary memory. So primary memory consists of ROM and RAM. So what is the role of RAM? RAM stands for random access memory and ROM stands for read only memory. So in case of ROM, we can only read the data stored within it. And in case of RAM, we can read as well as write data in it. Okay, so it is. And what is the role of memory unit? So memory unit used to preserve initial data as well as final generated output. Now, as we discussed, there are two types of memory, that is primary memory and secondary memory. So what is the role of primary memory? It is also called internal memory. Means when we start the computer, all the Windows programs or all the application programs are loaded in primary memory. So primary memory holds the data and instruction on which computer is currently working. Means suppose if I want to use some websites and if I work on particular website, so what happen, we are just clicking on our Google Chrome button or any web browser icon. So when we try to double click on it, so what happen, that web browser program loaded in our memory. So we just have to work on that, and when we close that application, then what happen, computer remove that web browser program from memory. And suppose if I want to open some different software, that is Microsoft Word or Microsoft PowerPoint, so that program loaded in your memory, and if our job is over, so it is released from that memory. So means these are the simple thing, which program we are going to currently use, that program loaded by computer, and if our job is finished, it is removed from memory. Got it? So this is the basic role of a normal primary memory. Now there are two types of primary memory, that is ROM and RAM. So as we discussed earlier, ROM stands for read only memory and RAM stands for random access memory. It is also called read write memory, or sometime it is also called volatile memory. Volatile memory means what? So when we start the computer, it keeps all the data in memory. So whenever we try to turn off the computer, means shut down the computer, the data stored within the RAM, it gets clear. Means if it is active if and only if there is a power supply provided to that RAM, and whenever we turn off, it remove all the data. So that's what is called volatile memory. Is that clear? So these are regarding about random access memory, and it is also why it is called read write memory. So user can read the data from it, and it also try to store many more data within the RAM. Now our next concept is ROM, that is read only memory. So all the Windows programs are loaded in RAM. So ROM also consists of some predefined permanent stored programs. So these programs are stored in ROM. So ROM stands for read only memory. ROM is a permanent type of memory. The content is not lost when power supply is switched off. So what it means, guys? So in case of RAM, when we try to switch off the power supply, it lose all kind of data. But in case of ROM, if power turn off, still it stores all the information as it is. Is that clear? So generally a ROM normal consists of the details of our computer. So means whenever we try to turn on the computer, one special program executes, that is called booting off program. So in that case, what happen, computer checks all the parts of computer hardware devices whether it properly connected or not. So it is called what? Post test, power on self test. Okay, so these kind of program are loaded in ROM. Means when every time when we start the computer, it performs or it executes power on self test program. So it is called booting program. Is that clear? So these kind of programs are stored in ROM, and it is a non volatile memory. Okay, volatile means what? It is a short term memory or temporary memory. But if we see the focused on permanent memory, then it is also called a non volatile memory. Now the last part of the CPU is what? Secondary memory. So secondary memory, if we see the capacity of primary memory and secondary memory have a huge data storage capacity, generally in terms of GB, TB, or you can say that PB also. PB stands for petabyte. So what actually means? What do you mean by GB? What do you mean by TB, MB, KB? So that these things we are going to discuss in memory unit, means how we can store the data. But now at this level you have to keep one thing in your mind. We have two types of memory: primary memory and secondary memory. Primary memory have low capacity, but it is much faster than secondary memory. So secondary memory is also called external memory. Okay, so it is used to store a huge amount of data within it. So let me see some example: hard disk, magnetic tape, pen drive, flash memory, then optical disk, that is CD, DVD, SSD. So these are nothing but what? Various secondary storage memory units. So in that, user can store a large amount of data according to its requirement. Okay, now the last part of computer is called output device. So it is the final device. So in that, what happen? Whatever the input provided by the user, that can be verified through our output device, and generally we prefer monitor as an output device. So we can see the different number of things on our output device. That is, it helps to display various kinds of text, images, multimedia data, audios, and many more things. So generally output device comes, that is monitor, printer, speakers. Okay, so these things are related with output device. So if you want to obtain the hard copy, then in that case we take the help of printer. So if you try to listen some multimedia songs, then in that case we prefer speakers. So in that case it works as an output device. So in this way we have studied various parts of computer, that is input device, output device, and CPU. So guys, if you have any difficulty regarding this topic, so please write down me in our WhatsApp group. So I will just try to solve your doubts and difficulties. So thanks for watching this video. Have a nice day.